What is it like being a Jamaican in Trinidad? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. Today, in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Kit Kennedy, who lives in Trinidad. Kit, welcome. How are you?
Welcome. Thanks, bro. I'm very good, actually. Despite the swirling noise about COVID and stuff, we're managing to keep safe. So we're good. We're good. We're good.
Good. Well, let me state to everybody, we go way back, but I'm going to ask the questions anyway, but we'll go way back. And so, just to follow the format, which part of Jamaica you're from, even though I already know.
Well, Portmore come from, where some of the original persons out of Portmore. Back in the day when we started to go to school, you and I entered the great college at the same time. And, we could count the amount of times that the amount of persons, that were living in Portmore at the time. So we lived in Independence City and you lived on the other side. And we had to get to the T-junction, right? Walk to the T-junction to catch the first ride that would go into JC, because outside of that is a minimum of 2 pieces of forms of transport you had to take. So it was nice days, but it is good on reflection, and I do thank you. I'm happy with what you're doing as well. So I'm proud of you, bro.
No, thanks, man. I'm proud of you too. And I know as an architect and someone who's involved in the construction business, just seeing that transformation of Portmore itself, because I remember when you and I, back in them days, we had spaces to walk and look across the horizon. And today, different story.
Oh, well, funny you said that. And just a slight correction, I'm an engineer, right? I mean, I do engineer architecture, but I'm an engineer.
Right.
And you're right. You're quite right. Just to see the development of Portmore over the years, it's been amazing. In fact, I was given the privilege of building out Greater Portmore with the same company that did most of Portmore at the time, which is West Indies Home Contractors. I think they're still the leading Caribbean housing builders. And I had the opportunity to build out myself and my brother actually, built out most of Greater Portmore. And it was really interesting. It was actually, it was an experience because we lived there. It meant a lot more to us, as persons living in Portmore and then going back there to work after school. So it was really a nice experience, and just dealing with the people there and the nostalgia, and it was just great.
That's what I was thinking, the nostalgia. I was thinking we used to walk through here. A mango tree used to be right here, so Miss This used to live right here, and just that the crab, the people used to come again.
But just to even walk from where we live to where you live through what we used to call a rat town. I mean, you go there now, it's like a totally different developed area. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. It's amazing. But all good.
Oh yeah. Just amazing. But we're not going to focus too much on Portmore right now. We want to talk a little bit about Trinidad. How did you get to Trinidad? How long have you been there?
I actually, to live, I came across to Trinidad in 2006. Just to know that I did my engineering degree here in Trinidad, and on completion, I vowed to myself that I'd not come back to this country to live. There was always a saying, never say never, right? Because a few years later, an opportunity arose, and I was headhunted to go across to Trinidad. So, I packed up shop and headed over here, and I thought I would have stayed 3 years. And it's going on, 14, 15? It's a long time. It's been a long time.
Wow. That's you're a veteran then. This is going to be good because you're a veteran there. You studied there, so you know about the school there and everything. So you're a vet. So the question I have, first question is the people. How are the people? People always assume Caribbean people are the same. We know we Jamaicans are different, but how are the people in terms of just their nature? Jamaicans, when they like you, we're going to know up front a Jamaican like you. If they don't like you, you're going to know up front. And so talk to us about the nature and what are the people in Trinidad like?
You have, and that's a very good question, Xavier, because you know you're right. Coming from Jamaica, people will tell you up front, you know, what they think about you, and in certain instances, you know, it won't prevent them from working with you, but you know exactly what time it is with them. Here in Trinidad, it's a little bit different in that respect, in that they often are not so forthcoming or forward with the response, you know, in terms of how they feel about you. And that can be a little bit tricky in terms of trying to manage that landscape. Notwithstanding that, you know, Trinidadians are really nice set of people, to be honest. Of course, there is a rivalry, the Caribbean rivalry that you won't get away from. But outside of that, you know, as long as you're respectful and you behave yourself, you know, and you do what you need to do in terms of doing the things and ethics and all of that, you're fine. You know, it's fine. You're very encouraging to you as a foreigner, and it's always good. You know.
So what do they think? What do they think? Because you kind of touched on it a little bit now, the rivalry. What do they think of Jamaicans? And again, you only from your experience, you can't, you know, speak for the whole country. You know, what do you say they typically think of Jamaicans?
I guess because, you know, I have the opportunity or have had the opportunity to treat with persons at different, you know, rungs in society. I guess it changes depending on where you are, right? In a lot of instances, you have persons, not a lot. In some instances, some people may think Jamaicans are just violent because they hear these banging music and call reggae and dub and dancehall, and they're not sure what it is saying. In essence, too, when Jamaicans are speaking, even amongst themselves, you know, it sounds very, very as if you're quarreling with each other to them, and that is not a good thing. So you have to be able to balance that. People who know you and who you treat with at different levels, depending on how you communicate them, really shape, you know, what they think of Jamaicans. In fact, there are a lot of instances and a lot of meetings I'm in, and persons can't tell whether I'm Jamaican or where I'm from. They just know that I'm not from Trinidad, but they can't tell where I'm from, and that's a good thing. You know, because some of them come with their biases.
Right.
They think Jamaicans are ignorant. Some people think Jamaicans are smart. Some people think Jamaicans are just no nonsense and they get straight to the point. So it's just a mixture of all of that. So you just have to take that and treat with it and use it to your advantage and mitigate against some of the nonsense that it may be coming with.
A lot. Do you encounter a lot of Jamaicans there in Trinidad?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, there's a little team that, you know, we're a part of that we, you know, outside of COVID, we play football once a week on a Sunday. Usually we play in the morning, but because of COVID, we play at nights because Trinidad is littered with great fields and great infrastructure. So you could play football up to 9:30 in the night under the lights. You can't do that. They don't have a lot of those facilities there, but we have it here. So, you know, it's a group of mostly youngsters, and it's really a mentoring moment for us. Myself and other few, you know, Jamaicans who are a bit older. So, you know, in that respect, I do still, you know, connect with them in that standpoint.
That's
because of work as well. I meet a lot of them through work.
Good. You mentioned the music and the you know, you said, you know, that some may view us as who played reggae and dancehall and so on. I am going to just kind of suspect that soca and calypso is the dominant there, but
absolutely not. If
not.
You ask me, I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so?
In carnival time.
Okay.
In carnival time, yes. Outside of carnival, reggae, hands down, for me, is the one you hear. If you walk on the road, if you drive on the street, someone is going to pull up beside you, banging reggae music as loud as ever. And I'm not talking about Jamaicans doing this. I'm talking about Trinis doing this. You know, dancehall, reggae music is the music you will hear people blasting in their cars outside of carnival, mostly.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. I will move on from the music and I can touch on food. And you know, what's the food like? Are you missing any of your Jamaican food? But what's the Trinidad food like? First of all, what's the Trinidad food like? And if there's one thing you'd recommend that, hey, you know, like for me, for years I eat I'm the roti person. Never tried doubles till about 3 years ago, and I was like, wow, what have I been missing? So, what's the food like? And then the second part of the question is, if there's something that you'd say, try this, what would it be?
To be honest, Trinidad has a very diverse, cuisine portfolio to try. It's similar to Jamaica in terms of spices, but I think in terms of range, they've outdone us in that respect. And of course, that's based on the differences in ethnicity and diversity of that across Trinidad and Tobago, because of course it's influenced by the Asian culture through the West Indian or East Indian side. Then you have Venezuela, which is the Spanish side. Then you have the African side. So the culinary side of Trinidad is influenced by all of those. So, depending on what, and of course, Chinese. So depending on what you want, you can get everything, anything. And for the most part, they're really very good, to be honest, because as far as I'm concerned, I can't say that I can single out any one thing that I would say I really love more than the other. Roti is okay, but I prefer bus up shot, which is the broken up part of it with chana and curry mango and curry chicken kind of thing, rather than the wrapped roti, right? Doubles I've never tried. I don't like the smell of it, so I just don't eat it. But I hear it's good. Wow. I hear it's very good. Yes.
So I am not alone, because you're in Trinidad and you have not tried doubles. I'm not alone there, because I was people like, I post it on Facebook and they're like, Xavier, really? You haven't tried doubles?
It's the most popular street food. It's the most popular street food, and I've never tried
it. you mentioned Tobago, and I think a lot of times we fail to mention Tobago. I mentioned Trinidad, and I should really say it's a twin island, Trinidad and Tobago. Have you visited Tobago? Have you gotten the opportunity to visit there yet?
Love it, man. I worked in Tobago for a while. Still am, because we're doing a few projects over there. Tobago, for me, is more in terms of how persons treat with you. It's similar to Jamaica, like a Jamaica countryside almost. A little bit more laid back. Diverse in going from one part of Tobago to the next. Very similar to Jamaica. Like I said, the people are very similar. So I get along really well, and I really love Tobago, to be honest. I mean, it's just a different landscape than Trinidad is in all context, in every sense of the word.
Is it where people go to kind of say, I'm getting away, and this is my getaway for the weekend, or a getaway for a holiday or something?
Yes. If you think about the Twin Island being Trinidad and Tobago, in the Jamaican context, it will be living in urban Kingston, and you go rural Jamaica for Tobago, not deep rural, right? Some instances maybe, but that's it. You work in Kingston, you have a vacation, you go to Montego Bay or you go to Negril or whatever, say different parts of St. Anne. It's the same way. You work in Trinidad, then if you have a vacation, you blow across to Tobago, you relax in some villas or on the beach or in the hotels, and you come right back. And it's very accessible, so it's good.
I see. And I've heard in terms of Tobago, just the natural, because it's not as built up. It's
untouched.
But one day I'll visit.
It's rustic in a lot of instances. It's very rustic.
Okay. And on that note, the question I have is, if we visit Trinidad and Tobago, what would be that one thing you would say, or event? It could be an event. It could be a place to visit. It could be an experience that you'd say, if you have, I know for me, I would love to experience Carnival. I just haven't been to Trinidad yet. But if it's one thing you'd say, if you come to Trinidad and you can book it this date, or you can visit this day, or you can visit here, what would it be?
A Carnival for sure. I mean, it's a reason why it's a world-class event, And the first time I experienced Trinidad as a youngster, it was just mind-blowing. Just the frenzy and how people almost transform themselves and their communities over Carnival. It's just amazing. And, the Trinidadians have the ability to, party all night long into the day, and then they come to work and actually work. And then, in the night, it starts again. So for that, not just for the Carnival 2 or 3 days when the Carnival actually is, but the Carnival period is like that. So it's as if their DNA is built around that, so it's good because, you know, the carnival period has different experiences, and you know, depending on what you like, you can choose the events that are more compatible with what you want to see and what you want to do. But the actual, what they call pretty mass, which is the Tuesday, is absolutely amazing. You know, just the creativity, the flora, you know, just how people are traversing the streets. It's just fun in the truest sense of the word. It is capital F-U-N. And you don't have to drink and be, you know, getting in any big set of dancing. Just being a part of it and seeing that frenzy, seeing, you know, is something. When you see people really and truly enjoying themselves, it does something to you, you know. So it's just a good time to be in Trinidad.
I know I got to get there at some point in time and experience it. I've had people who have experienced it and they say, listen, there's nothing like this you're ever going to experience. And they're not in the bands. They're just saying they're on the outside watching and just participating in events. And there's nothing like it, I said. Nothing.
Absolutely correct.
So great information so far, and I know you know, I know you're a busy man. I want to ask a question in terms of, you know, people looking to work there as you know, a Jamaican national and so on. Is it the paperwork? I don't have to go into the detail, but is it a difficult process? Being, again, I know it's a CARICOM country and, you know, all of that. Is it a difficult process getting there to work?
Well, let me be politically correct, right? Because of CARICOM and because, you know, how it operates. If you have tertiary education from a recognized university, you can get CARICOM certificates throughout the various Caribbean islands to work without a work permit, right? That's a very good thing, because once you get it, you could work freely, you could live, and there are no problems. You can come, and because especially pre-COVID, you know, there are jobs, like I started out by saying earlier, there are jobs that, you know, the Trinis don't want to do. So those are always opportunities for persons who are coming in from other countries who do not have that type of opportunity. You know, the Guyanese, you know, Guyanese persons back in the day, not so much now because of that oil find, you know, but a lot of Guyanese are here, a lot of Jamaicans are here. Haitians, Africans, you know, a lot of people are here because of the opportunities that were presented here in Trinidad over the past 10, 15 years, you know, because there was a time when I just came here, it was a big boom, you know, because, you know, the oil price was $90 or $100 a barrel. And, you know, there's a complete facelift of the capital city. And, you know, it was all good. I'm just happy that I was a part of it, to be honest. So, you know,
good. So, you know, again, good information. Really appreciate it. I mean, there's so much angles we can go, and you and I have to catch up. I know you're a busy man. I'm catching you in a busy time. But what would you say? And I'm winding down my questions. What would you say is the biggest adjustment that you had to make from Jamaica to Trinidad? And that's my second to last question.
Well, I mean, there are two major adjustments for me, right? One is the fact that, you know, you're here in a different country without your family, you know, especially for me who have never had an experience, you know, for the first 23, 25 years of my life. I've never had an experience where I'm all alone because I'm one of a twin. So at the very least, I have that buddy, you know, to always be a sounding board, to always just be there if you want help to lift something up out of the yard. You know, there's always someone you could call on for that. So that for me is the biggest adjustment, not having my family around and being in a space where it's really just me, right?
Okay.
The other adjustment I had to make is more professionally. You know, some persons, and you alluded to it earlier, the perception of Jamaicans, you know, you wanted to make sure that persons have the right perception of Jamaicans, because a lot of them, they see them as, you know, security guards or, you know, having, you know, those types of jobs. Nothing wrong with it, but that's the mentality, and that's what people saw. So when they are encountering, you know, persons who are true professionals coming to the table, negotiating these big contracts and, having a different spin on it. And you hear you're Jamaican. It's like, really? I mean, case in point, I was negotiating, large contract, and I brought in a team, an international team, because the company I work for is an international company. And while I was doing that, the client brought in his international team, and the legal person on that side was Jamaican, and I didn't know. So the meeting started. We all, started negotiating hard. And then before the meeting, the legal guy said, there's a call. If it comes in, I have to take it because my mother isn't well. The guy gets the call and he says, yo, wagwan. Now, when someone is sitting across from you in his American accent, and then he answers the phone, yo, wagwan. I could tell you the tone of the negotiation changed dramatically. Because then I said, when he came up before, I said, yo, everything good? And he was like, what? And everybody around, it's like it flew over their head. And then, the negotiation just changed. I mean, all for the better, right? Because then negotiations are give and takes, right? So it's just amazing, when
wow.
you have a change of perception of Jamaicans in that regard. And whenever you get a chance to do it, you do it.
All right.
So you have to adjust the tone. So
exactly. So winding down, question. I think you say you get all your Jamaican food there, so you're not missing anything.
No, man, because I cook it.
Okay.
And most times, I'm privileged enough to have, help from Jamaica. So whenever we bring, those people in, it's straight Jamaican food. So I hardly miss anything.
All right. So here's the scenario. You land, you land in Jamaica. What's the first thing you're doing when you land?
Trinidad. You land in Trinidad and what?
You land in Jamaica.
When I go back to Jamaica?
Yes. And you land. Yeah. What is the first thing you're doing when you land in Jamaica?
The sugar and spice. First up. Every time, without fail, sugar and spice.
All right, all right. Well, Kit,
and in the evening, pan chicken, straight.
Kit, listen, thank you for spending some time with us. Here's how I typically end. What would the locals say when they're saying, like, informally, bye-bye? We say, catch up on old people, catch up on the strong, catch you later, little more. What do the Trinis say when they're wishing you bye, informally?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest. That's a good question. I'm not sure what they say.
All right.
I'm not sure. I don't think they have I don't think they have a similar saying, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
I don't recall them having one. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Again, great information, my friend. And thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know you are doing some great things there and representing. Listen, thanks again, my friend.
Representing for sure. And thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, thanks. Bless.
All right. Blessings, my friend.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.